No photos, no proof. And yet, the belief around Chang-wook and Nam Ji-hyun refuses to disappear. To understand why this story stretches far beyond a few interviews or an old drama, you have to understand how rare true invisibility is in this industry. Most celebrity rumors are fueled by accidents, a reflection in a window, a staff member's careless post, a fan who happens to be in the right place at the right time. Even the most private stars eventually leave a trail. But in this case, there is nothing. Not once. Not ever. And that absence is what keeps pulling people back. After their drama ended, fans expected the usual cycle. A few friendly mentions, a reunion photo, maybe a casual interview reference. Instead, there was distance. Not coldness, just distance. The kind that feels deliberate rather than dismissive. Chang-wook continued with intense roles and global projects. Nam Ji-hyun focused on steady growth, choosing scripts carefully, maintaining a grounded public image. Their paths didn't publicly cross again, yet neither seemed eager to close that chapter completely. Fans began revisiting old footage, not to romanticize, but to re-observe. Behind-the-scenes clips where conversation felt unforced. Press events where eye contact lingered a second longer than necessary. Small gestures that meant nothing on their own, but felt different when viewed together. Not loud chemistry, comfortable chemistry, the kind that doesn't ask to be noticed. Over time, a pattern emerged. Whenever one of them was asked about meaningful past collaborations, there was a pause. Not awkward, thoughtful. Chang-wook would answer respectfully, carefully, never distancing himself, never feeding speculation. Nam Ji-hyun would smile softly, speak kindly, then redirect. Neither treated the topic as insignificant. Neither treated it as something to explain. That balance is hard to maintain unless both people agree on it. Another thing fans noticed was how both of them handled privacy in general. Chang-wook, despite his fame, rarely shares personal details. Nam Ji-hyun has always been selective, almost protective of her private life. Neither has been caught in public relationships easily. So when fans realized that even casual rumors never surfaced about the two of them, it didn't feel accidental. It felt intentional. Industry insiders often say that the hardest thing to hide isn't a relationship. It's coordination. Two people maintaining the same level of silence, the same boundaries, over years. That requires trust, mutual understanding, and a shared decision that some things are not for public consumption. That idea alone fuels the belief. There were moments that reignited conversation unexpectedly. A line in an interview that felt familiar. A comment about timing, about maturity, about choosing peace. Fans connected dots, not wildly, but thoughtfully. They noticed how both spoke about relationships with similar language, about patience, about privacy, about valuing depth over visibility. Still, there were no sightings, no airport photos, no cafe encounters, no accidental overlap at events. Even when they attended the same industry functions years apart, there was careful distance. Not avoidance, just respect. As if both understood that keeping something intact sometimes means keeping it unseen. What fascinates fans most is that neither has ever tried to erase the past. Some actors rush to reframe old pairings, emphasizing professionalism to shut down curiosity. Chang-wook and Nam Ji-hyun never did that. They allowed the memory to exist without feeding it. And in doing so, they allowed belief to grow. Online discussions evolved with time. Early posts were speculative, excited, hopeful. Later discussions became quieter, almost protective. Fans began saying things like, if it was real, they did it right. Or even if it wasn't, they respected each other enough to keep it clean. That shift matters. It shows that this story is no longer about wanting confirmation. It's about respecting boundaries. There's also the timing factor. Both actors reached stages in their careers where public relationships could have been leveraged for attention. They didn't do that. They didn't hint. They didn't tease. They didn't deny either. They chose neutrality. And neutrality, when sustained for years, becomes meaningful. Some fans believe they shared something once and chose not to continue. Others believe they continued quietly. Others believe it was simply a rare connection that left a lasting impression. What's interesting is that all three interpretations coexist peacefully, because the story isn't driven by evidence. It's driven by feeling, and feelings don't require proof to exist. In a world where celebrity narratives are often loud and fast, Chang-wook and Nam Ji-hyun represent the opposite. A connection that leaves no trace. A story without receipts. A bond that survives in memory, not headlines. The longer time passes, the stronger the mystery becomes. New fans discover their old work and ask the same questions. Veteran fans answer calmly, without urgency. There's nothing to show, they say. But there's something there. And that's enough. Because sometimes the most convincing stories aren't the ones exposed by cameras. They're the ones protected from them. The ones that don't collapse under scrutiny because they were never built for an audience in the first place. No photos means no confirmation. No proof means no conclusion. And so the story continues, not as rumor, but as quiet conviction. Chang-wook and Nam Ji-hyun may never confirm anything. They may never deny anything either. And perhaps that's exactly why this connection remains untouched by time. Because it exists in the space between what is seen and what is felt. And in that space, fans remain convinced. And as the years continue to pass, that space between what is seen and what is felt only grows more intriguing. What keeps fans returning to Chang-wook and Nam Ji-hyun's story isn't hope for a reveal. It's the calm certainty that whatever existed between them was handled with rare care. In an industry where even the smallest emotion can be monetized, that kind of restraint feels almost rebellious. There's something else people often overlook. Both Chang-wook and Nam Ji-hyun changed after their time working together. Not dramatically, not in ways that invite headlines, but subtly in how they spoke about life, work, and relationships. Chang-wook began emphasizing balance more than ambition. Nam Ji-hyun started talking about emotional stability as much as professional growth. These shifts weren't sudden, but they were noticeable to those who followed them closely. Fans don't claim this proves anything. They don't need it to. They simply recognize that meaningful connections often leave marks that don't fade quickly. Another detail that deepens the mystery is how neither actor has ever tried to rewrite history. Years later, when fans bring up their past project, there's no discomfort. No dismissiveness, just respectful acknowledgement. That matters, because people usually distance themselves from rumors they truly want buried. Chang-wook and Nam Ji-hyun never did. They let the memory exist quietly, untouched. There were moments when speculation could have exploded, times when a single comment, a single photo, could have sent the internet into chaos. And yet, those moments passed without incident. Not because fans weren't watching, but because there was nothing to catch. That level of consistency doesn't happen by accident. Some fans believe they made a conscious decision early on. A decision to protect something fragile, whether it lasted or not. Others believe they shared a connection that simply didn't need continuation to remain meaningful. Both interpretations carry the same conclusion: respect came first. What's remarkable is how the conversation around them has matured. Instead of demanding answers, fans often say things like, if they wanted us to know, we'd know. Or, some stories are meant for public confirmation. That level of understanding is rare, especially online. Chang-wook and Nam Ji-hyun never trained their audience to expect access. They never blurred the line between personal and public. And because of that, their privacy feels intentional rather than secretive. New generations of fans discover their old work and ask why this pairing still feels different. Veteran fans don't point to proof. They point to atmosphere, to the feeling that something genuine existed without needing validation. And that feeling survives time better than evidence ever could. In the end, the mystery remains intact not because people are desperate for romance, but because people recognize sincerity when they see it, even in absence. Especially in absence. No photos, no proof, yet no doubt. Chang-wook and Nam Ji-hyun's story continues not on camera, but in memory, in respect, and in the quiet agreement that some connections are strongest when left untouched. And maybe that's why fans are convinced. Not because they were shown something extraordinary, but because they weren't. Some stories don't fade because they're unresolved. They endure because they were handled with care.